right, this is table to linear equation level 3 in Delta Math. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this table over into my sketch pad. So let's see here, I've got -2, 2, 6, and 10. Make a T-chart. -2, 2, 6, and 10. And I've got 3, -1, -5, -9. 3, -1, -5, and -9. Okay, and the question says, find the equation of the linear function represented by the table below in slope-intercept form. Well, I know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I have to find my slope, I have to find my y-intercept. Neither one of those is directly obvious, so I'm going to start by finding my slope by using my carets and doing my subtraction, or thinking about what's the change between my numbers, right? So 10 minus 6 is 4, 6 minus 2 is 4, 2 minus a -2 is 4. -9 minus a -5 is -4. -5 minus a -1 is a -4. -1 minus 3 is -4. So I'm going to do my change in my y's divided by my change in my delta y divided by my delta x, or change in my x's, which is -4 divided by 4, and that gives me -1. So I know my slope is -1x plus b. Okay, and this is a pretty nice slope because I could come over here to my table and say, okay, I know my y-intercept is when my x is 0, so I just have to go back 2, right, to get to 0. It's a change of 2, and then same thing from my -1, I have to go up 2, or from my 3, I have to go down 2, right? So that would land me right there at 0, 1. So my equation for this line is going to be -1x plus 1. Now sometimes finding our y-intercepts from our table is not quite that intuitive. So if you don't see that, or that kind of logic or reasoning is hard for you, just pick a point, any point you want, and plug it in and solve to find b, right? So maybe we pick 10, -9. So I'd be plugging in -9 equals -1 times 10 plus b, and solving that to find b, right? So first thing I'm going to do is multiply -1 and 10 to get -10, and then I need to get the -10 unattached from my b, so I need to turn it into a 0 by adding 10. And my rules, my properties of equality say if I do something to one side of my equal sign, I have to do the same exact thing to the other side of my equal sign. So it's my addition property of equality here. -9 plus 10 is +1. -10 plus 10 is 0. And I like to write that because that's my self-check along the way. And then 0 plus b is just b. Okay, so I found it a second way, right? 1 equals b. Now you don't have to do it both ways, but you certainly can, pick which way you feel a little more comfortable with. All right, let's go ahead and type this into Delta Math just to make sure we got it correct. So y equals -x plus 1 should be our answer. Y equals -x plus 1. Click submit. Yes. All right, and they like it. And they're just walking you through, again, they did 2 points, and they probably used slope formula, but, similar vocab that I was using. And then they picked up, what did they do? Oh, and then it looks like they did the kind of the same thing where they said, oh, all right, let's go back a couple and use our table to find the y-intercept. Okay.